you know,
Hmm.
I was sitting there, best view in the house, looking at
And where was
Dundalk.
this held at? A place called a Colony, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And where's this located? It's in Houston, Austin, or
Dallas area.
where's it again?
The Dallas area.
Ah, Dallas.
So
Nice. Oh.
they be doing a lot of tribute bands there most
Mm.
of the time. Good tribute bands. They be doing sometimes Winger goes there.
Wow.
Sometimes like a 2016 Brett Michaels was there solo. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, nice.
I mean, I don't know why. What's his name from Foreigner was there, the original lead singer one
Lou
time.
Graham.
Yeah, he played there once. So
That's nice to know.
it's good. It gets packed, but the better if you're like 5 or 10 rows back, it really is a better view.
All right there, yes. And I watched, and congrats on the link being mentioned in Blabbermouth. I
Yes.
was like, holy cow. I went there and said, holy shit. And that reminds me, I need to get some shows going on my phone pretty soon to have them possibly put my link
Yes.
in there. But the only thing that I haven't been able to see any shows coming up lately there because because of my work schedule,
But
and two, it hasn't been much coming in as of late there.
they have that one place, that they had like House of Blues. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, yeah. I've yet to even be in any House of Blues to be exact there, So there's a lot more venues in Houston I got to check out sometime soon when a lot of things get cleared here and there, blah blah blah, money
Right.
wise, because I've been doing car payments, rent, and everything else there. So plus helping out with this there and that there, so it takes a lot of time and energy. Thank goodness I was
Yeah.
able to get grocery shopping done ahead of time there, so we got probably time to possibly do that show with Vikings fan if he's available there that you mentioned Monday night.
Yeah, we can add him in if you want to.
Okay, well definitely we could do that there. All right, so is Ark ready to go? I'm ready to add him onto the show here.
I added him in, but try hitting him up and see.
Okay, I'll
Um,
do that right now. Okay, participants, blah blah blah. It's kind of a let's get him on the call here. Okay, I'm calling Arky right now. He should be ready to roll.
what do we call this? Like, not. I don't want to call it like a tribute to because it
Well,
sounds like
I
a
already
tribute
well
band.
I have it. It's in my title. I call it the salute to the Big British Six, and we're on
Uh,
part five, as you know, with Iron Maiden, and of course, the sixth being, of course, Motorhead. They definitely got a lot of they deserve lots of mention as well there. And Arky's right here. Sweet. What's up, Arky? Is he there? Ark? Probably getting his headset ready or whatever he has. All right. So, and I noticed that when in the video that you posted, YR, is that Don Dawkins has looking a little chubby lately.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
noticed. Yeah. It's like,
But
holy
see, it's
cow.
sad. It's like I was watching it. I mean, like we didn't pay no 300-400. I mean, tickets were like $30.
Oh, wow. That's
You,
cheap.
you get you get there. General admission. We were the first ones there, so
Nice.
I
Yeah.
got to watch them warm up. I got to
I
watch them do
saw that
sound
as well,
checks
yeah.
and
I saw that with Lynch
yeah,
shredding on his guitar, and props to George Lynch on still being able to do that, man. He's looking more
he had
fit
all
than
the.
Don at the moment right now.
Now, I mean, Don's voice is not good, but it's not like it's different
Not
when you.
terrible.
It's like different when you're at a concert rather than watching a video. It's like different. It's a different vibe when you're at the concert. Like you sing along still, and
That's true. Yeah.
for me, anyways, that doesn't really bother me. Like you're not getting 1980s Don Dawkins. You know what I mean?
I
Like
know
you're
that's true there. Unfortunately, a lot of in fact, a lot of acts in the 1980s don't really sing a sound as much as they used to. I mean, like Mark
I mean, Bret
Slaughter
Michaels
included.
is like Bret Michaels is like one of the best, one of the last
Yeah, that's true there.
good.
Exactly. But then, of course, then Brett Michaels is not a shrieker like is able
No,
to do those high pitches like let's see here. There's Ark. What up, Arky?
Hey, what's going on? Sorry about that. I wasn't
No, it's
Set up
okay.
good.
Okay, there, it's good there. All right, we were talking about the Docket show YR saw last night in Dallas, and
You
he.
should have gone with me, Art. Would you ever go to shows anymore or no?
It's a little difficult. I'm semi-handicapped, so I'd have to
I
go to
see. Yeah, that's true there.
a wheelchair spot.
I see there. It makes sense there.
Have you ever been to that place, Lava Cantina?
Where?
Called Lava Cantina. It's like a small beach, not beach. It's like a bar, grill.
No, I've never been to that one.
Mr. Dawkins goes there every year. It was pretty good.
No, I've been to the one in Fort Worth, which I don't remember the name, the big place.
Oh.
And I've been to,
did you see any of those videos? I recorded the whole concert there. Did you see
Yeah,
any
he
of that?
did, and it was mentioned.
Oh, really? Nice.
And the link was also mentioned in blabbermouth.net.
Yeah.
That's good there. Yeah, we were talking about how I should probably go see some shows and possibly get the same thing for my channel. That could possibly, get my channel more subscribers and all that shit. I'm looking on to do that right now. Yeah.
That's where we get the news from. Did you start the show yet or no?
I started my show, yes, and I also sent you a link about Ozzy Osbourne as well, requiring neck surgery. That we got to get into that there, and plus, first
did you see you see that bassist I told you about from UFO? Heard of that guy?
I don't think I have. No, I should probably look out there. I know he said he's the current bass player for George Lynch's band there.
Yeah.
okay, and also Alan White passed away.
Yeah, the drummer from Yes. We got to begin with that there. Alan White,
I
the
put
drummer.
it in my title. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Alan White, who's been the drummer for Yes since the third album, known as the Yes album, or actually after the Yes album, I should say. Bill Bruford was still beating the skins for that group at that time there. He was a member of Yes up until his, of course, dying day. He also participated on the song, I believe, if I'm correct, Insta Karma by John Lennon, if I was correct there. If I'm not, correct me in the chat, each other's chat, where it's mine, YRs, or ARGs, or whichever there. Now, of course, does it say what he passed away from, or was it old age?
No, I just saw it.
I saw it as well there. Probably just, probably the same thing that Chris Wire went through. I think it's been something there. But he marks the second member of Yes to pass away next to Chris Squire, who passed in 2015. So, rest in peace to Mr. Alan White, known for his great drum skills with the band Yes for many years.
Oh, my bad. I'm doing my intro. I'm sorry.
All right, good.
Oh, I wondered what was going on.
Yeah. And I noticed...
Look at that. Look at that. That's great.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's hard to believe that George Lynch has all that gray hair. It's still long. It doesn't look the same.
Oh, heck, I've got gray hair when I have left.
Right.
How does he do that big, how does he do that big squeal, Brown?
I think what he does is he hits one of the harmonic little things there, and I guess what he's able to just...
Well, I'll play one. I'll play one that he did, and I got a short of it recorded of one of the squeal. I mean, it was like, whoa. Mm-hmm.
I think it's like this. Oh, it's not plugged in, so it's kind of hard.
Here we go. You ready? Here we go. You'll hear it.
Okay.
If it comes down. Shit. Not too far. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
But if it comes down, the end of it.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's a more trade with the tremolo system he got. Obviously, he's got the Floyd Rose tremolo thing going on there. That's one of the most popular tremolo systems out there in all guitar players.
Did Eddie Van Halen made that how to do the squeal? Did he come up with that?
Dimebag? Well, Dimebag was a lot more like a bomb dropping off from an airplane hitting the ground there.
Right.
It was because what he did was just like he would hit a G string. There to go to that little section of the fretboard, it was just like. And
yeah, nothing wrong with hitting a G string. Oh, sorry.
That's it. The G string is always one of the favorites of the guitar players because it's so easily, it's easily to mess with. Definitely. And plus, you know, the way the Floyd Rose is positioned was where it's able to go up and down, no matter how much, without going out of tune and everything else. It's pretty much, you know, how it's done. You know,
Right.
you can't really have if you're gonna. I have my guitar set where it's like not all the way up to next to the wood, but it's also a little bit edges off the wood, so it's able to go back a little bit there, but not too far, because it would obviously, of course, break the string.
Right.
Yeah, but it is a cool thing, you know. But to do those kind of things, you're going to have a tremolo system, unless you're able to go way up on the string with your finger and go bend that shit all the hell. Which is what sometimes Zach Wildoffer does when he plays his guitar.
Well, he was pretty good. I mean, like George Lynch, he's one of the last great guitar heroes of the 80s.
That's true there, yeah. Who's still around.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so anybody
back into the gas situation.
The gas situation, gas prices, let me guess, it costs a bundle to get there, right?
Oh, yeah. The gas situation, the death.
Yeah,
drummer.
yes. I thought you were talking about gas or the gas prices. All right, that's another topic there. But you know, let me look it up here. What's going on and how he died here while we're on the subject there. Blah blah blah. Let me look up the thing here. Let me just Alan White. Give me a couple minutes there. Give it a couple minutes there because you know how my Google is. Blah, blah, blah there. Okay, it should be coming up there. Still in the rotation there. I hate when this happens here. It takes a long time for the thing to boot. Sometimes I have to close out one tab and or reopen it again there. Okay, screw it. I'll do it on my phone for fucking crying out loud there. Okay. Sometimes it does that on my computer there when I'm trying to either record something or go live here and there. Okay, so I'm going to try this right now. Fuck it. I'm going to do it like this. Alan White, yes. Okay. And it goes to Ellen White. I don't believe this, man. Fool. I hate when it does that. Okay, he died at age 72. He played the drums with John Lennon's Plastic Ono band. He played on Imagine. He played on Insta Karma and of many others there. And basically what it was is that I'm looking for the and I'm looking for the whole thing there. He also played on George Harrison's All Things Must Pass album as well there. He was dealing with a brief illness around that time. And the inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was most famous for his work with Yes, Lennon, and George Harrison, as I mentioned. Now, the family of his family wrote in the statement, quote, throughout his life and 6-decade career, Alan was many things to many people. A certified rock star to fans around the world, bandmate to a selective few, and a gentleman and friend to all who have met him. You know, he started playing drums at 12 years old, started gigging in London clubs the following year. His life changed when he received a phone call from ex-Beatle John Lennon. He thought it was a friend trying to joke with him, so he put the phone down. He got a call back, and he was told he's doing a gig in Toronto, Canada. Was he able to play drums? Can he send a car to pick me up in the next morning? And before I knew it, he was on the plane to Toronto alongside Yoko Ono, Lennon's wife, and Eric Clapton, and Klaus Waldman. Now, Klaus Waldman, if I remember, was the guy who, maybe a different Klaus, but he worked with John Lennon briefly at that time there. They was making a live appearance in Toronto, rock and roll revival, and they needed a drummer. White played the show with almost no rehearsal. Suddenly the sticks were thrown at my hand. John counted 1, 2, 3, and we were in the first number. It was all like a flash in a pan. Lennon was pleased with the way that his on-the-fly work and invited him into the studio to work on the album Imagine. He was one of the 3 drummers who played on that record there, along with Jim Gordon and Jim Keltner. But he was the one selected to work on the legendary title track. He said, I remember at one point the song started with the drums at the very beginning of the song and the band playing. John played it so good by himself on the piano, I said, why don't you do the first verse like that? He said, that's a good idea. And he said, what do you think, Phil? Meaning Phil Spector, the producer. And next thing you know, we tried it like that, and John kept it. And it became the instant classic that we know and love to this very day. Now, the experience on that record led to a call with record to George Harrison on his solo release, All Things Must Pass, which was also produced by Phil Spector. White is on several songs on that release. Although the sessions were so chaotic, there were no proper credits. White claimed to have played on the song My Sweet Lord, but this has been long disputed. That was a bigger group, White recalled. It was Delaney and Bonnie's group, George and Eric. And it was a lot of people in the studio every day for about 3 weeks. When we all got there, we decided who was playing what. George would say, when do you play drums? And that's how we were able to cut those tracks. A couple years later, Yes parted ways with one of their drummers, Bill Bruford, who later joined King Crimson. He was offered the position because bass player Chris Squire and John Anderson, their frontman, had recently seen him play with Joe Cocker and liked his work. And the only problem was that they had a gig 3 days later in Dallas, Texas. Where you was at YR yesterday there. And virtual no time to rehearse. He said, I went in the whole weekend and listened to the music, got used to it, then went in there. I was in Dallas going on stage with Yes, with pretty much no rehearsals. Yes saw a small army of musicians come and go throughout the next decade, but White remained loyal to the band. His work powers innovative prog albums like Tales from Topographic Oceans, Relayer. He also played on albums like 90125, Big Generator, and his work in the 80s. Let's also not forget Owner of a Lonely Heart, one of their biggest singles since Roundabout. His most studio work with Yes was 2021's The Quest, He logged in more years in the band than any other member of the group. While the band took a short break in the early 80s, White jammed it with Squire and Page on a project called XYZ, which stood for X Yes and Zeppelin. None of the music, unfortunately, was never released, but eventually some of the tapes were leaked as a bootleg. He maintained a heavy tour schedule with Yes in the 2000s, even after Anderson parted ways with the group in 2008. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2017. Health problems sidelined him from recent tours, but he would come out for the final few songs of the evening. When he spoke to Rolling Stone 3 years ago, he was hoping to be able to play full shows with the band in the future. He said, I had back surgery a couple years ago. I've been steadily getting better since then, and I'm starting to play more and more. It's getting pretty good right now, and I feel good every day. I am moving forward. He played with Yes in 2019 at the Mountain Winery in Saratoga Springs, California. The encore that night took his career full circle, a cover of John Lennon's Imagine. So once there again, Alan White, drummer of Yes, dead at the age of 72. Rest in peace, Alan, there. And very sad. Very sad. All right, there. So YR is I heard Keith is on back in your was back last night on your end there.
Well, no, he just helped me record it. He was watching the video, make sure it was clear, and I had him on, yeah, because he did watch the whole concert with me.
That's nice.
So.
They recorded. It's good to hear, man. It's good. Glad you're able to record that thing there, because that's like
Thank you, brother.
I think that was one of the lifetime experiences I will see George and Don being playing together in general, because I guess they haven't played together in a long time since the Japanese shows they did as the classic lineup there, Return to the East, right. I think it was called there. And plus, let's not forget the album Dysfunctional and Shadow Life in the early 90s there. So definitely a shout out to George and Don for making amends and doing some stuff together on stage once more. All right, so this is part 5 of our Big British 6 series there. Now, we already covered the 4 basic British bands that influence all of hard rock and heavy metal. You know, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, and also we got, let's not forget also Led Zeppelin as well there. Now we're going to go on to Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden, as you know, started back in 1975 with bass player Steve Harris recruiting a bunch of guys, to play some hard rock music. Now, Iron Maiden, I first heard of them back in 1981 there, actually 1982, when it was Paul Di'Anno as their front man. It was the song Iron Maiden that kind of caught my eye there. The way the chords, the licks were done there, the arrangements. It was a live performance just when the second album, Killers, had came out. And I was taken by the guys dressed up as their mascot, Eddie, with the big stage lights, shining at the people left and right. And it was pretty good stuff there. I like it. I really like that. The one that really also caught my attention was their performance of Wrathchild from the second record, Killers. I like that song a lot, so definitely, I definitely want to get into this band a lot more. Then the following year, they come out with Run to the Hills with the new singer, Bruce Dickinson. Di'Anno had been let go by Maiden, so they got Bruce Dickinson, who previously sang in a band called Samson. And the rest is history. The following year, 1983, they would record and release Peace of Mind, which contained, Where Eagles Dare, Flight of Icarus, Revelations, and a whole bunch of other great songs there, like, of course, the one we know by our heart, The Trooper, which is still played on the radio today, which is surprising because back then they were not played on the radio, come to think of it there. Of course, Maiden nowadays have been sold all of these tickets. They do a lot of sellout shows there. I mean, when I saw them back in 2019, it's September.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, they're touring right now. They're touring as we speak.
Ah, nice, which is good there, yeah. And I think they already passed through Texas there, but unfortunately was not in any of our location. Unfortunately, I think I've been more up by Austin, if I recall there, or San Antonio. And the place, the Cynthia Woods Pavilion, was packed to the gills. And as everybody knows, I detailed it a couple times. I was able to say hi and get an autograph from Derek Riggs, the guy who created their mascot, Eddie, and did all the album cover work for their albums there, except for a couple like the X Factor and Virtual Something there. And also we got to mention that I made a couple of friends at that spot there, which was, I guess, called the Crow's something there. I know it's not the Crow's Nest there, but it was something. I was gonna say that. I was gonna mention that, like the Goose's Acre, I think it was called there. All right. All right. Now, as you know, Maiden has become a worldwide sensation. They even have their own airplane, their old tour airplane titled Ed Force One. And guess who's the pilot? As you all know, Bruce Dickinson, their frontman. He is an official certified pilot. Now, Dickinson is one of a kind. He's like, I consider him the ultimate heavy metal role model. Not only is he still able to sing as cool as he did back in the day, he's also a throat cancer survivor. He's also a certified pilot, as mentioned. He wrote a couple of books. He also did some spoken word performances. He also, actually, he was an entrepreneur, I think it is. I don't go, he has an entrepreneur, yeah, thank you there. I mean, he's pretty much done it all there. So definitely a credit to Bruce for being as iconic that he is when it comes to heavy metal frontman. Next, of course, Rob Halford, the Judas Priest, and Ozzy Osbourne of Black Sabbath. Ronnie James Dio of Sabbath, Dio, and the Rainbow, of course. He's up there. He's definitely up there. I mean, I remember there are a lot of Iron Maiden tributes coming out there. There was a group called Seventh Son that I remember seeing in Michigan one time there. At some, I guess it was called Stars and Stripes Festival in Mount Clemens, Michigan. And I want to check out this group out so bad, the Iron Maidens, which is an all-female tribute to Iron Maiden. I mean, Nita Strauss, who tours with Alice Cooper, she was one of the members of that group. The two main members of that group I want to check out are the guitar players, Courtney Cox and Nikki Stringfield. Hot babes as well there. Now, Maiden, what can we say? Maiden would later record, as I mentioned, Peace of Mind in 1983. The following year, they would come up with their most classic of albums, Power Slave. Me and my best friend Dennis, we all bought cassette copies of our own, took it at our place and listened to it. The one that really stood out from the most, next to the single 2 Minutes to Midnight, Aces High, the title cut, was of course The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which was about 13 minutes long there. That song has still remained a concert staple. I don't know if they haven't played it as of late. They didn't when I saw them. But it is a classic piece of work, definitely, for sure. Especially when performed live as well. Later on, in the following year, they would record Live After Death, which I was happy to definitely most geeked up in getting on cassette as well there. The only problem with when you buy it on cassette, it doesn't get the full live version of Running Free. You had to edit that down there. The profits and the royalties from the 12-inch single over the UK went to an anti-drug treatment program called Kick the Habit, which is Stand Against Drug Use, 110%. The following year, in 1986, they would release one of my favorites from them, Somewhere in Time. And along with Judas Priest's Turbo, they would have guitar synthesizers on some of the tracks. The album, let's see here, Stranger in a Strange Land was one of them. Alexander the Great, the closing track. Not many heavy metal bands out there can do a song about Alexander the Great. Keep that in mind there, folks. And of course, the opening track, Caught Somewhere in Time. And an interesting story about that song there. Let's say you're approached by a scientist. You're offered a chance to go back in time where things were a lot more better. The music was more unique. You know, the prices were a lot lower on gas and groceries and shit. You want to go back and possibly also correct some mistakes that you made in the past there. Who wouldn't want to do that? So many times you hear people saying, if I could go back in time and not realize what I was thinking, should have realized back then. How many times have we heard that said by people, including myself, on a couple occasions in the past? The chance to go back in time, but no possibility of coming back to the present. Would you go? Would you take the chance? Like to say now you have a wife that you love pretty much there, along with 3 kids. Would you be able to come back and see them again and tell them your tales of going back in time and getting things straightened out? Stranger in a Strange Land was another most unique topic. You may remember back in 1985, they found this Iceman covered in snow, buried along the ice, and Adrian Smith, who wrote the song, one of the guitar players, he said when he saw the photo of this guy, he was like, holy cow. You could see the pain and agony on this man's face. I'm like, he thought he was going to find this brave new world, but it's all land of ice and snow and nothing else. I mean, being far from his home, his friends, his family. And you can see the pain as he died. And he wrote a song about that, you know. Now, a couple years passed, they would put out their concept album, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. In 1990, they would switch U.S. record labels from Capitol Records to Epic Records, CBS. They released one album on that label there, No Prayer for the Dying, in 1990, with a new guitarist. Yannick Gears would replace Adrian Smith, who had departed from the band. And of course, we would have, a couple years later, we would have 2 live albums. They would return to Capitol Records, a real live one and a real dead one. Bruce Dickinson decides to leave the group there to focus on a solo project and his family as well there. He is replaced with Blaze Bayley, formerly of the band Wolf's Bane. They would record 2 albums, The X Factor and another one whose title escapes me. But however, alternative music was the main thing, and this resorted to that band playing smaller venues here in the States. I mean, like years ago, they were playing the Joe Louis Arena in around 1985, 86. And in 1995, they'd be playing Harpo's Concert Theater. It's kind of sad when you think about it there, but that's how it was. Heavy metal had to take a back seat to all the grunge rock, alternative stuff that was out there. But Maiden kept pushing forward, no matter what. Now, 2000, not only did Bruce Dickinson return, but also Adrian Smith. They kept Yannick Gears as their 3rd guitar player, and now Maiden is, from then on, it still is, a 6-piece unit. They will record Brave New World, A Matter of Life and Death, and the current one, I guess it's a San, what's it pronounced at YR? San Jori or something like that? I don't know, but it has okay. Sinjinju. Okay, there. And of course, you know, throughout that time, you know, their audience overseas and everywhere else would continue to build up and build up and build up, no matter what. I mean, like in places like Argentina, Venezuela, South America, England, you name it. The massive amounts of audiences are just massive when you look at it there. I mean, there are gatherings, you know, before shows at pubs, bars and grills there, like the one I'm told about before seeing them when they played the Cynthia Woods Pavilion at the Goose's Acre there. Met a lot of cool people there. In fact, one of them, her name is Leah, who is a bass player for a band up in the northern Texas area. We're buddies on Facebook. And of course, you know, they had to stop doing touring when the pandemic hit, and now they're back on the road supporting this album here, which on vinyl is a 3-record set, by the way, there. And the best thing about this band, other than its longevity, their music, the way they kept pushing forward with their style of heavy metal, is that they are one of the many bands, one of the very few bands out there who are able to retain the rights of their music. They have Iron Maiden holdings, first started in 1981, and they've been going on since that there. Now, their first album at that time was only copyrighted to EMI, and I guess they probably bought the rights to that album. So we have seen multiple classic Maiden releases like Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, reissued on this label, that label, Sanctuary Records, Portrait Records, Sony Entertainment. It's been like all over the place there. And they're also known for their cool B-sides as well. They covered Cross-Eyed Mary by Jethro Tull, Doctor Doctor by UFO. They have also had one of the most interesting pieces on the B-side, Mission from Airy, which is on the B-side of 2 Minutes to Midnight, the 12-inch UK version. The story about this is that Maiden was doing the performance. Nico Mcbrain, their drummer there, was doing the solo. A roadie, Brian, what? Brian who?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, that's his name. His name is Nico Mcbrain. Nico Mcbrain. Wait a minute, see. Let me look it up there. Somebody ain't right there. Because I remember it was Nico
Is it McBrain or is it McBrien?
Okay, let me look it up right now. Because, I was kind of... McBrain. Okay. Because I know it's always been... I gotta wait when this happens here. Hate when this happens. I hate when I do this. When I try to... Yeah, it's called Nico Mcbrain. Yep, Nico Mcbrain. He is an English musician, the drummer of Iron Maiden. He also was a member of a band called Trust, which had a song on the heavy metal soundtrack in 1981 there that I enjoyed listening to. But that is his name, Nico Mcbrain there. And I guess he owns a ribs restaurant in Florida, if I understand there. Now, what can I say? Iron Maiden is still going strong to this day and still kicking ass. Now, YR, if you given a chance to see Iron Maiden, would you? Definitely.
Wait, I did already.
Oh yeah, that's
Theater
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I remember. I think you mentioned that back in 2020. I think it did. Yeah.
Like 2012. Okay, that's when the concert was. Go ahead, Mr.
Mark.
Okay. The origin of their name.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us.
Oh yeah, the origin of the name. You know that torture. You know that execution
device from the
medieval times. It's
right.
It's made. I think it's made of metal or iron or something. Mostly iron. It had to be iron. You put the person in, and inside are these spikes. And when they're done, those doors slammed on you, it kills you instantly.
It doesn't really sound like torture unless it kept you alive for a while.
No, but it'll probably be alive for a while there, but unfortunately you'll die from the pain and everything else there because you got all these spikes going right into your flesh there, killing your organs and everything else there. But that's where they got the name from,
It's kind of what I figured.
Absolutely there. And of course, apparently when they started at that time, back in 1975, 76, punk rock was already starting to rise up. And apparently they were first certified as a heavy metal band with a punk attitude. They had a lot of anger towards Margaret Thatcher at that point there. In fact, story is that on one of their first 12-inch singles there, they had Eddie, their mascot, holding a big knife after having stabbed Margaret Thatcher, who was laying dead on the ground. Now, on the follow-up single titled "Women in Uniform," Thatcher is wearing a British Army uniform with a flamethrower, just waiting for Eddie, who's walking about with two females on his side there, waiting to strike at any moment. So Maggie had her revenge, obviously, there. And of course, on the front cover of their second album, Killers, Eddie just stabs someone. He has a big, mean look, a grin on his face. And as that hand is crawling up, grabbing on his shirt, that was, of course, Margaret Thatcher's hand. So, and we got to remember, at that time, a lot of people were screaming bloody murder at Thatcher for what was going on economically in England at that time there. It was even worse than the years before. In fact, around the later 70s, when Pink Floyd released their album Animals, which kind of took an aim at that whole situation, that's when the punk rock movement really geared up. With the Sex Pistols, the Clash, the Damned, many others there. UK Subs. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys handle it from here there.
Okay.
Okay, well, because I've done the majority of talking, and it's also YR's, I don't want to overshadow YR or you, that's for sure. Because I remember during the Judas Priest episode, you didn't really get a chance to say anything there. But then again, you said you don't know much about Judas Priest yourself, but you had all the records, but you never really got paid full attention to them.
Well, considering I have 300,000 or 400,000 MP3s, it's kind of hard to listen to all of them. Basically, it's one of those things where, why do you have so many? You can't listen to all of them. Yeah, but I can pick what I want to listen to.
That's true there. But then again, a lot of times I would pick up, I have a lot of stuff on my MP3 that I haven't listened to a long time. In fact, there's another one somewhere in my dresser drawer that has a bunch of stuff I haven't listened to for a couple of years there. I should probably start listening to that sometime soon there.
True.
So, you talk about the Ozzy.
Yeah. Ozzy back
operation.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. He's having definitely got to look that up there. Blah 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 blah.
Iron Maiden is the number one band that people have their T-shirts, like, even if they don't.
Oh man, all over the place. Definitely, there's the merchandise, the memes, and the artwork's just unstoppable. I mean, when we think about it, there's the one where Eddie is the Joker, holding up a Joker's card there. There's one I had on my Facebook where the Cyborg Eddie is taking on the alien from, of course, the movie Aliens, H.R. Geiger's.
I looked up that Iron Maidens group that you talked about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over YouTube.
Yep, absolutely.
And I am looking at one that I'll play after we're done here that looks like it might be fun.
All right, there. Okay, I'm going to go to loudwire.com here. And about this Ozzy Osbourne, as we mentioned, he is scheduled to have some neck surgery pretty soon there. Give it a couple minutes here, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm hoping those pop-ups will be coming on my computer here, because like a couple times I wanted to read out a couple things from the Houston Chronicle while gas prices are up, and you got to register to read the full article, blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck you, motherfuckers. Now, next in line.
Wait, Brown.
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah.
But no, it's like me and Ark, we're not really, you know what I'm saying?
I understand, yeah. I'm big Maiden fans.
We're not, like, I am a big Maiden, but not, I just we're learning, and obviously we have obviously if they came to Texas fucking this weekend, I'm going, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
When I went, I really didn't know that much into it, and but I still went technically. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but you're right. There are a lot of songs like I mean, obviously, like the first song I ever heard from them, it was on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on Nintendo 64,
Wow.
and it was the Number of the Beast. They had the Number of the Beast on there,
Oh
the
man,
soundtrack.
there was a lot of controversy about that song. People were accusing them along with any other heavy metal group out there like Sabbath Priest, accusing them of being Satanists because of the lyrical content of that song. But apparently, the people were ignoring that one line where it says, "This can't go on. I must inform the law." I mean, like I had a long talk with my mom because she thought they were Satanists because of that song. I mean, like, for instance, she thought Flight of Icarus was that she thought it was actually Flight of Incubus. I said, no, it's so Icarus, the guy who flew
Yeah, a
way.
guy from the ancient Greek.
Yeah, the guy
I
who
think it was Greek.
I think so. Yeah, the man who made wings out of wax, but flew way too close to the sun, only to
His
have.
son did.
Yep, exactly. And on the
Because it
14th.
was he.
Okay.
Basically, the story was he and his son were trapped, exiled to an island,
Ah.
and they thought, hey, let's make wings. So they made wings, and then Icarus warned his son, don't fly too close to the sun. His son was having such a good time. He went close to the sun, the wax melted, and there he went.
Yep. Yep.
But actually, Kansas did a song on that too called Icarus Born on the Wings of Steel.
Ah, I see there, yeah. Now, let me go see if I can get the article up here about Ozzy. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Weird article.
Okay, but you know what? I'm going to look up on my phone again because obviously this computer is being a bitch again. At least I'm able to stream correctly there, thank goodness. Okay. Let me look it up on my phone here. Because I remember I sent Wire the link about this situation here. Okay, let's do this. Ozzy Osbourne's neck. Okay. Now let's see what we got here. I'm going to go to Livewire. Okay. Ozzy Osbourne, according to Livewire.com, says he is waiting to have neck surgery stemming from a 2003 ATV accident that nearly killed him. Remember, that was called on the Osbournes reality show that year. Now, he has been dealing with vertebrae problems that pose daily challenges for him. In an interview with Louder Sound, Ozzy says, quote, I'm just waiting on some more surgery on my neck. I cannot walk properly these days. I have physical therapy every morning. I'm doing somewhat better, but nowhere as much as I want to be to go back on the road. The crash was international news on December 8, 2003, when the former Black Sabbath frontman jumped behind the wheel of a quad bike and hit the gas for a joyride in his London estate. Ozzy, who was 55 at that time, was in the midst of taping The Osbournes, his hit MTV reality show. Footage captured the before and after of Ozzy flipping on the bike there. A short time later, Ozzy was in a London hospital having emergency surgery. At the time, his son Jack told reporters it was to repair a broken collarbone and 8 fractured ribs were pinching crucial blood vessels and a damaged vertebrae in his neck. Fast forward to 2019. In the middle of a night fall, he had a fall at his home. He found himself back at the doctor's. The fall he had at his mansion in Hollywood dislodged the metal rods and bolts in his back and collarbone from the surgery after the AV-18 crash. It was serious enough that Ozzy wound up postponing his touring schedule for the whole year after that. The forthcoming neck surgery for Ozzy comes on the heels of his bout with COVID-19, which eventually affected most of his family. Busy times for the Osbournes, as it was recently announced, for Ozzy's latest solo release is expected in this coming September. Another more anticipated expectation is the pending arrival of a grandbaby for Papa Osbourne. Daughter Kelly announced that she and her boyfriend, Sid Wilson of Slipknot, are having a baby together. And Ozzy and Sharon are in the midst of a move back to their home country, feeling the pinch of high Los Angeles taxes and the convenience of Sharon's new gig as a morning TV show host in the UK. Remember, she's also a co-host of the program The Talk, which is aired on CBS, if I'm correct.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So, Osbourne, I guess, everybody's having neck surgery nowadays. I remember Jason Newsted had massive neck surgery. I guess he's due to get another one. And that's all from the massive, intense head thrashing he did in his early years with Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, well wishes to Ozzy Osbourne, who I guess he's just going through some Parkinson's himself there. He announced that a couple years back. Let's hope Ozzy gets well there. All right. And of course, the article goes on to show many photos of Ozzy throughout the years, 70s, 80s, and such there. Blah, blah, blah. And pretty much about it so far there. But now, I mentioned me and my best friend Dennis. We were massive fans of Power Slave, their fifth album. It was one of the most classic albums for me. I mean, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner was, of course, the highlight of that album and closing track. 2 Minutes to Midnight was the big hit single from that album. I remember seeing the video for that as well there. Aces High, the opening track, was another great one. The live concert of that version starts off with a speech by Winston Churchill, who was then at that time during around the 1940s when World War II was going on. He was the British Prime Minister. I guess a couple movies were made about him as a result recently. And apparently, Maiden still hold on to their British roots no matter what. I know that there was a massive argument a couple of times with one of their managers, Rod Smallwood. They have two managers, him and Andy Taylor. Not the guitar player from Duran Duran, somebody else with the same name. Smallwood had at that time, moved to Los Angeles. And apparently one of the reasons why was because of the amount of violence at the various soccer games that were going on a couple of times, or football as it's called over there. And I guess that Dickinson, say you can't run to Los Angeles to solve an issue, what was going on up there in terms of violence going on some of these games. But then you got to remember, soccer games are very passionate for South America and England as well. Where here in the States, it's like, that's something that little kids do in the elementary school, after school. So,
Hear that, Keith?
Oh my God.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude. That was a trip. Okay. See if I'm still live here. I gotta check.
Oh.
What's up?
Well, Keith, you've got a pulse. Oh, not that kind of live.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, it was still live. When I put up the tab there, it goes a little circle, but we're still live as we mentioned it. I just want to make sure, the one of the issues that were going on the previous time there, where I had to record on my Skype and OBS and just upload later on. I like to be live as it happens because it's more fun. Okay, so I guess do you think anything else to add, guys?
No.
Oh yeah. So we should
I'm
do.
tired from last night.
You're tired from your
Tired.
Wow, that's true there. Now we got to recommend some albums for Ark here because I don't think
Yeah.
yeah, but we could start out with the first album with Paul Di'Anno. That was their first album with Prower, the song Iron Maiden, Remember Tomorrow, which is a damn good song there. Which, by the way, there was a couple of tribute albums. Metallica did their cover of that song there back in for a tribute album titled, I guess it's called Made in Heaven. I guess it's called. There's also you can find it Made in Japan, which is not the same title as the Deep Purple live album, but you pretty much get the take on here. It was a 5-song EP recorded in Japan, of course, with Di'Anno on vocals. The second album, Killers, that we mentioned, with Murders in the Rue Morgue, The IDs of March, Wrathchild, the hits one from that album there. Prodigal Son. And of course, what's that one there? Oh, no, Purgatory. That's the one, Purgatory. I remember hearing that song pretty good. And also check out the endless amounts of merchandise that are out there. I used to see T-shirts like crazy at high school, all over the place. T-shirts that you got at various rock shops here and there. And this is back then before there was places like Hot Topic. This is the early 80s there. Plus, you also got to remember that, there was the endless amounts of albums they had put out, like the ones we mentioned. Seventh Son, but Seventh Son is a good one as well there. Definitely got to listen to that. That is, as I said earlier, a concept album. And of course, we got to definitely see him, because next time you come live, we got to go definitely see him. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because they do put on a damn good show there. And the cool thing, it's a cool thing that they kept Adrian Smith, and kept all the guitar players, Yannick, Adrian, and Dave Murray, who's one of the most devoted members of Iron Maiden since he joined the group there, back in the years before there. He's still with them today. He was one of my favorite members of Iron Maiden because there was something about his guitar playing skill and his Stratocaster, which, by the way, featured two double humbucker pickups on there. There's a now official Fender Dave Murray signature guitar that's out there, styled just like that there. And of course, Bruce Dickinson, who's now been able to really go around over the place on the stage there since he switched to a wireless microphone. He's able to come up with some theatrics as well there, dressed in a pilot's outfit for the opening song, Aces High. Also able to dress in a couple other outfits for various songs like Hallowed Be Thy Name. And also, most important of all, learn the story behind the songs. I mean, these guys kind of like go through textbooks, and write songs about them. I mean, like Alexander the Great, Ryman the Ancient Mariner, as we mentioned earlier, are perfect examples of that. Holy Smoke from the 1990s, No Prayer for the Dying, is a take on the evangelist thing that was going on in the 80s there. La La, Baker, Swaggart, Tilton,
Right.
Those guys. And I guess anything you want to add to the mixer, YR? What's going on, or anything else, or is that it for this evening there?
That's it for the mix. We'll be diving into the metal beef next week.
All right, the metal beef, which I guess the mean the issues between bands, right?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Oh, I thought we were doing Motorhead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Motorhead. That's what I was gonna say there. We're gonna probably do it after the after our last of our six British series there. And that will be on this coming Monday at same time,
Talking
7
about-
p.m. Eastern.
I was gonna say, go to blabbermouth.net.
Yep.
You'll see my, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everyone
You'll
out
see
there.
YR's video on the Dokken with George Lynch performance last night. And it was shot pretty damn well, I will say. It was like, this is an outdoor venue, I guess it is?
Yes.
Nice, because I noticed there. I thought it was in sort of club or something that there first there. All right. And also, you probably got to give their Dockett's current guitarist, John Levin, his major props, because he's a damn good player. I was listening to him do some shredding while giving an interview on a program called The Classic Metal Show there. And I haven't heard that program in a long, long time there, so I probably should start listening to them pretty soon there.
Yeah, John Levin's good. I got his pick. He tossed a pick, bounced off my forehead.
Oops, that's good. At least it didn't hit you in the eye there. Yeah, got his pick.
No.
Oh, dude. No, but it was cool.
I got a split drumstick, split in half.
Yeah, I see there. Yeah, I noticed. Yeah. It would have been cool if they would have been cool, to hang around until they come out, so you could get your shirt. If you bought a shirt from them, definitely get an autograph by them, and get some photos with them as well. Yeah.
We could have, but like they were in and out. They weren't like hanging around or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I see there. Yeah. All right, all right there. So I guess that does it for Iron Maiden for our big British 6 series there. Like I said, this coming Monday, we'll be taking a look at the final installment, The Mighty Motorhead. And we'll be taking a look at their long life legacy. Okay? Okay, so I guess that's it, guys.
Alrighty.
All right, there. I guess after this, go ahead, Wire.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you, brother, as well, too, guys. All right, there. For YR and for Arknolia and for myself, have an awesome Thursday evening.
Thank you.
All right, you too. Thank you as well. All right, bye.
Alrighty.
All right, there. And I guess after we're done with the big British, big beef there that we probably do after our series there, we'll definitely talk about what we should probably do next, because there's a couple things I have on mind as well there.
Well, one thing we discussed before was bringing up bands that should have been bigger than they were.
Thank you for reminding me, dude. Thank you, because we got to do that, man. We got lots of them that should have made it big a long time ago, man. I have a few. Ark has a few. I don't know. YR has a few. Definitely, we got to do this. All right.
Yeah.
All right, there. We will see you Monday. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.